You're not lazy, you just don't have a system. And honestly, no one ever taught you how to build one. If you've been calling yourself lazy, unmotivated, uninspired, inconsistent, all of those words, then this episode is gonna be perfect for you because it's gonna change the way you look at yourself and your habits. Welcome back to the CEO of Me. I'm Angelica. I'm so happy that you're here with me. This podcast is for women who are learning to take charge of their lives, their decisions, and our futures. And today we're talking about something that's really, really important and something I feel like a lot of us get wrong, especially women who are trying to build something. Let's get into this term lazy. A lot of the times it's a lie. We've all had those days where we just aren't feeling it. We wake up and we want to doom scroll. We don't want to go to the gym. We hardly want to get out of bed. We all have those days and they aren't that far in between. And what usually comes out of our mouth on those days, it's like, I'm lazy. I don't feel like doing anything. I feel so unmotivated today. But I want you to actually think about it. Are you really lazy? Is that the kind of vocabulary we want to use to call ourselves? Because in my opinion, lazy people do not care about their future. They don't care about building. They don't care about changing where they are now so that their future looks a lot brighter. And if you're watching this and you're trying to improve your life, that's not you. You are not lazy. What's really happening is that you don't have a structure. You don't have a day-to-day plan, an hour-by-hour plan, depending on how busy you are. That is what's missing when you feel lazy. And I don't mean days where like you've had a really, really long week and you wake up on a Sunday and you're like, I'm not feeling it. That's very different than this kind of lazy that I'm talking about. That is a rest day. We need a rest day. There's nothing wrong with that. What I mean is like daily laziness. Like every single day you're waking up and you want to doom scroll. You want to stay on your phone for hours. You don't get out of bed. You hardly shower. You don't want to go to the gym. You're not responding to emails. You're not doing the things that you usually do or that you want to do. Something that a lot of people do when they're building is they rely on motivation. But the truth is motivation is not consistent. It's just not. So once that runs out, what do you have left? And that is why you want a structure. You need a system that tells you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and a system that even tells you what to do when you don't feel like doing anything or you're feeling unmotivated. We're not gonna use lazy because I don't like that word. Lazy is not in my dictionary and it's not in yours. So we're gonna say unmotivated. Motivation is unfortunately extremely unreliable. It's gonna change every single day, but what saves you is having a structure and a system so you know that things are moving even when you're not feeling like it. The lack of structure can show up in so many different ways. I saw it a lot in my life years ago before I even got in the beauty industry. I did not have a structure to my day. I was just kind of waking up, going to work and not really thinking about, okay, what am I going to do after work? What are my meals going to look like? Am I going to go to the gym in the morning? Like there was no structure. I didn't have things that were penciled in my schedule every single day. Except for work, of course. Lack of structure can also look like starting things that you didn't finish. You feel so overwhelmed that you end up just doing nothing and scrolling. You spend so much more time thinking about what you want to do than actually doing it. And I like to call this getting lost in the sauce. You're lost in the spaghetti sauce. You can't even focus on the noodles. You can't even focus on the garnish. You can't even focus on the onions. You're just lost in the sauce. And you're so lost that you don't even move forward with the rest of the spaghetti. Or having lack of structure can look a lot like I need to feel ready before I start something. And reality check, that moment never comes when you feel ready. And then you go through this whole mental torment of blaming yourself, calling yourself lazy, calling yourself unmotivated. And then this all becomes a mood. The more you talk to yourself and the more things you say to yourself, your brain is going to believe it and it's going to start making you act that way. So then lazy just becomes a mood. And we want to change that. We want to change that. You are not lazy. You're simply just operating without a plan. And when you don't have a plan, your brain just automatically defaults to comfort. I'm going to say that again. When you don't have a plan, your brain automatically goes into comfort, your comfort zone. You scrolling for hours. You not going to the gym, knowing that you had plans months ago to get in shape. Not eating right. because the thought of grocery shopping, cooking it, storing it is all too much. So you just say, I'll just go to McDonald's today. There's no plan. If you would have went grocery shopping on Sunday, and I'm honestly talking to myself because I do this. If you would have went grocery shopping on Sunday, instead of going to Tao Beach, you would have had all your meals for the week. So there wouldn't have been a day that you had to think about your meals. And you slipped and ate something that you don't typically eat throughout the week. And now that throws off your whole goals for your eating that week. And it's like that happens day after day after day. It's not just one day. It usually trickles down. So let's talk about this plan. Let's talk about how to make sure our Sunday is a system and is a structure so that every single week, your Sunday is penciled in. You know what you're doing on Sunday. You're meal prepping so that Monday through Friday, you don't have to worry about the meals. That's just an example. That's me. That can be something else for you. But I think the food is the simplest way to explain the idea of having a structure and what happens when you don't stick to the structure. Just because you don't have structure doesn't mean you're not disciplined. You're just lacking clarity. So instead of trying to become more motivated, you need to become more structured. Get a pencil and paper, get whatever you need, or your phone. But if you're watching me on your phone, then don't exit out of this video, but maybe grab another device, or if your friend is with you, grab their phone, or just be old school. Grab a pencil and paper. I don't care, but I'm going to break it down for you right now. You need a plan for every single day. And I know this sounds like duh, but I mean an actual plan in your calendar or in your notes app, whatever form you want to do. Put it on your refrigerator. If you're old school and you like to write it down, you need a plan for every day. For example, my plan every single day is gym first. That is what I have penciled into my schedule years ago. I want to start my day with the gym. So my gym is at 6 a.m. After that, I come home. I have an hour and a half, shower, breakfast, and then on my computer, I'm working, checking emails, editing content. That's just my morning. That is penciled in every single day. That's my morning. And then from there, once you have an idea of what you want your day to look like or what your day realistically can be with your schedule, don't be wild now. Like, be realistic, okay? After that, you need to think of some non-negotiables. For me, a non-negotiable is not going to the gym or not doing some kind of physical activity. If I don't make it to the gym that morning, I'll do a walk or I'll do a Pilates class or I'll do a yoga class. Like that, those are my non-negotiables. Another non-negotiable for me is waking up and doom scrolling. I've learned long time ago that is not how I want to start my morning. You do not want to start your morning, well, I'm not going to say you. I don't want to start my morning looking at other people's lives because you naturally start comparing. And you don't want your first thing in the morning to be looking at other people's lives. Take that out of your schedule. That is a non-negotiable for me. I do not doom scroll first thing in the morning. I wake up first thing in the morning, turn off my alarm, wiggle my toes. I thank God for waking me up. And I thank God for my healthy body and the ability to be able to physically get out of bed by myself. And then I open the blinds and I get dressed for the gym. I'm not looking at my phone until I get to the gym. So that's a non-negotiable for me. But find one that works for you. If it's the gym, if it's eating something specifically or not eating something specifically, if it's having a conversation with someone or not having a conversation with someone, whatever it is, find what your non-negotiables are for your day and stick to that. And most importantly, you need a system that you know that you can stick to regardless of how you feel. Something that you know you can follow despite what's going on in the world. I hear all the time, I fell off from the gym because X, Y, and Z was going on. I fell off from eating right because all these different things. And it's like, don't have these super strict, like unrealistic systems in your life because it makes it a lot easier for you to fall off. If you told yourself and you hadn't worked out in years and you tell yourself, I'm going to go to the gym 6 times out of the week. Totally doable, not impossible. But for someone who has not worked out in years, that's going to be extremely hard to achieve. Because soon as something goes wrong in your life or there's some unease in your life and anything, it could be the smallest thing, what's going to go out the door? The gym. Because it's such a massive goal that sounds really wonderful at the beginning, but it's just not realistic, especially when things go wrong. So have a system that will work regardless of how you feel or what's possibly going on in the world or in your life. The next thing when you make up this system and this plan is you want to be practical. Like I said, practical, realistic. I feel like they're the same, but I'm not Webster, okay? I'm not Webster, but I feel like they're the same. I will Google it later and I'll let you know. Like I said, it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be as simple as waking up at the same exact time every single morning. Like mine is 6 a.m. My alarm goes off at 6 a.m. every single day. I trained my body to do this years ago because I knew I was only going to get busier and busier, and going to the gym first thing in the morning is the best for me and my schedule. It could be committing to walking during your lunch break instead of sitting down and scrolling every day, getting 5,000 steps in while you are on your lunch break. Something like that, something with moving your body, something that makes sense to your schedule. What also comes with being practical is being specific. Like if you say you want to get X, Y, and Z done by this date, then your days need to be going towards that goal. So on Monday, do one thing that is a part of that goal. Tuesday, if you didn't finish that one thing on Monday, finish it on Tuesday. Be very specific with your system and make sure, I feel like I've said this already, make sure it works for your life, your actual life and your day-to-day. This requires a lot of reflection. It just does. You got to reflect, okay? Look at your schedule, look at your day, look at your moods, look at your energy. What part of the day would you really realistically would want to go to the gym? Or when will you want to go grocery shopping for the week so you have all your meals figured out for the entire week so you don't have to worry about that thought process and then end up doing something that you don't want to do or eat. Eat, that's what I mean. All you have to do is start. That's all you have to do is just start small. Look at your life, reflect. Where do you want your life to go? How do you want your future to look? How do you want your body to look? How do you want your body to feel? Most importantly, think about all those goals because that's going to help you determine your structure and your plan for each day, each week, is knowing what your future goals are. If you have no ideas what you want your goals to be, that's okay. You'll get there. It takes time. Maybe I'll make a video about that. How to find your goals, how to write them down, how to determine them. If you guys want that, put it in the comments. I will definitely do that. But for those of you that already have an idea of what your goal is, all you're missing is structure to take it to the next level. Once I started structuring out my day, I mean day by day, sometimes hour by hour, I was able to really not only manage my time properly and get so much done in the time, but I was able to take it to the next level and move forward with my goals and the things that I want to do in my life. I knew that I needed a schedule and a structure to get everything done. Like I'm running a business. I'm in business with my sister. I work for companies in other cities. I do contract work. I have to have a system or everything will fail and I will get nothing done and we'll have no money and we'll be living at my parents'. And that's not what I want. So, and I don't want that for you. Nothing wrong with living with your parents. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want that. And I knew that if I didn't have a structure, if I didn't have a plan for the day, then nothing was going to get done. And I was going to eat poorly. I wasn't going to sleep the right way. I wasn't going to wake up in the right mood. I wasn't going to go to the gym. I wasn't going to be grateful for my life. Like, I feel like without a structure, just a lot of things just snowball and you look up and you're like, it's been 3 weeks. How? You know, CEOs or people that you see online, they're not necessarily more motivated than you. They just have a better system and a structure and probably an entire team of people that's keeping track of that. Systems keep you moving. They keep you going even when you're not feeling like it. And that's what these people have. And that's what we are going to have. Okay, we're going to get this done together. You're not going to be alone. You don't need to adopt a new personality or beat yourself up about having 1 or 2 bad off days. You don't need to beat yourself up about it. Instead, we're not thinking about that. We're going to think about the future and making a plan to make sure that when days like that come, because they're going to come, they're just going to come. It's just a part of it. When days like that come, you're able to be like, oh, I can't think about how I'm feeling right now because I have a 2 o'clock. I have to do X, Y, and Z because this is on my schedule. I have so much going on. I have my schedule that I can't even sit and think about how lazy or unmotivated I felt in that one moment. And really, sometimes the feelings are going to pass. Don't soak in it. That's another part of it. If you feel that way, try not to soak in it. Move, get up, do something different, or look at your calendar. That'll get you up. That will get you up. And I've had seasons where I felt unmotivated. I'm not going to say lazy, but there were times where I felt unmotivated, more so overwhelmed, I would say. I felt like the amount of pressure I was putting myself under, the amount of work I was doing, everything that I was doing, it made me feel like unmotivated. It was so much to do that I was just like, okay, I'm just not going to do any of it. But now that I'm looking back at it, yes, I was extremely overwhelmed. But if I had a structure in place that allowed me to know when to take breaks, know when to work, know when to relax, I don't think I would have felt as unmotivated and beat myself up about it. That's what I did. I just beat myself up. I was just so hard on myself. And it caused me to, which sounds wild, it caused me to work more and want to put more on my plate just to feel that void of being unmotivated, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yep. It was a wild time. It was a wild time. Instead of trying to fix being overwhelmed, I just added more stuff on my plate to prove to myself that I'm not unmotivated. Like, that doesn't even make sense, but that's what I did. Once I built a structure and a plan, everything changed, and it was the most beautiful thing that I could have ever done. And I want you to feel that same exact way, because now my day is structured. Every single day, my week is structured, and I very rarely fall off the path. Sundays are hard for me. Like, I can either really want to rage on Sundays, or, like I said, Sundays are my meal prep days. So I've been doing really good, but the summertime is hard. I don't get me wrong. I love the summer. I love enjoying my summer days. So Sundays are going to be hard, but we're in this together. Okay. My structure is set. So I cannot fall off the plan, because then the rest of my week is just messed up. So let's do this together. Tell me what day that you want to do your meal prepping and get ready for the week, or whatever your goals are. Talk to me. So if you've been calling yourself lazy, I want you to stop right now. Like, don't use that word again. Delete it from your membrane. Get it out. Get it out. You don't need it. Get it out. You are not broken. You just need structure. I've said this already, but you're not broken and you're not lazy. I just know this new structure is going to look so good on you. The plan is going to look good on you. You're just going to be looking just amazing, and I can't wait to see it. If this episode resonated with you or made you feel something, feel free to subscribe to my channel, like, comment, all the things, and let's communicate. I'm so happy that you are here with me, and as always, love on yourself, show yourself some grace, and be kind to yourself. Because we're building structure, independence, and confidence. So breathe. Take your time. We will get there. Thank you for being here. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.